Remo for the invitation on behalf of our panel and the two panels to follow. We're honored to be able to be with all of you this afternoon and to discuss issues pertaining to Iran from several perspectives. This first panel is a broad discussion, an open-ended discussion of policy toward Iran. And I want to be creative and ask our panelists a little bit about Iran's policy as we have perceived it toward all of us, whether it's the European views, Canadian views, American views. I am joined by an extremely distinguished group of well-known, notable political and policy experts. And I'm going to start from my right, your left. We have John Baird, the former Foreign Minister of Canada. We have former Senator Joseph Lieberman, former vice presidential candidate. We have Ambassador Robert Joseph, the former Undersecretary of State and Special Envoy for Nuclear Nonproliferation, one of America's leading experts on nuclear policy issues. We have General Jack Keane, the former Vice Chief of Staff of the United States Army and a very well-recognized senior military expert in the United States. And our friend Bruno Tertrais, the Deputy Director of the Fondation pour la Recherche Stratégique de France. So we're very pleased to have all of you. I think we should perhaps just start from one side to the other with Minister Baird and invite each of our panelists simply to reflect on where we stand today in the middle of 2017. Many of you have been coming to the rally events for years, and how conditions have changed over the years. We're not talking anymore about terrorism lists, at least for the home team. We're talking about other people being put on terrorism lists. We're not talking about being threatened by mortars and terror and assassins and attacks at Camp Ashraf and Camp Liberty. That danger has now passed. We are talking about the vulnerability of the regime in Iran. So the conversation has shifted quite a bit. And with it, so have governments in Canada and the United States and in Europe. So let me invite Minister Baird perhaps to start a conversation and reflect on some views on how do we talk about policy toward Iran and perceptions of Iran's treatment toward us. Let me just invite you to start us off.
Thank you very much for having me. I think we need to speak with greater moral clarity on the threat that this regime